Hey guys, welcome to another typical fall day here in the Pacific Northwest. My name is Roy, and this is BCA. I want to thank you guys for joining me. We have an election coming up in 27 days. A lot of things happening in the world. The whole world's eyes are on this election, and we got to play our part in it. Today I want to talk about this issue that we're having with our economy. I mean, you see in the title, $30 an hour is the new 15. The reason I put that there, the reason I say it is, well, because 5 years ago in 2019, I made $20 an hour. I had a 3-bedroom home and all the bills thereof. I was able to afford it. Barely, but I was able to afford it, right? Well, 5 years later, I make $30 an hour, and you can't even, rent a 2-bedroom apartment in my town for less than $2,000 a month. It's just absolutely sickening. I was paying $1,300 a month for that 3-bedroom house back then, and well, that's just not happening. So if you actually have a family of 4, you need a 3-bedroom place, preferably a house. Well, good luck. And if you could find a 3-bedroom apartment, it's going to run you about $2,600 a month. But this isn't all about just the rents. Gas prices are completely out of control. Everything, food, you name it. You guys already know what's up. You already know what's up. We're just getting really tired of it, and the only way any of it's going to change is if we actually vote in the right person. We're down to 2 choices. We all know what they are. I already made my choice because, well, I'm going to tell you, rather than tell you why. I made a little video. It's about 3 minutes long, and it should explain everything that's going through my head at this particular time. Being a blue-collar worker, being a worker in this country, period. The guys, we're the guys that built this place. I want you to watch this real quick and let me know what you think if I'm hitting home at all, okay? Let's check it out.
If your paycheck looks like it's shrunk, you're not imagining things. $30 an hour sounds decent, right? But with rising prices, it's becoming the new minimum wage just to get by. Inflation is eroding our purchasing power. The cost of living is skyrocketing. Rent, utilities, food, transportation, everything is going up and wages aren't keeping pace. Minimum wage earners are feeling the squeeze the most, working longer hours just to pay the bills. Everyday essentials are rising fast. A trip to the grocery store, a night out, a weekend getaway, all these things are becoming luxuries. People are making impossible choices between paying bills or putting food on the table. It's not just low-income earners. Middle-class families are also struggling, working longer hours, taking on extra jobs, and sacrificing well-being just to make ends meet. The stress is taking a toll on their health. Let's look at some numbers. If inflation is around 5% a year, what cost you $15 5 years ago now costs over $19. Your $30 an hour today buys less than it did before. Groceries, rent, even your morning coffee. Everything chips away at your buying power. Wages in the United States just can't keep up. It's like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Here's some information about inflation in the United States from 2019 to 2024. 2019. The annual inflation rate was 1.8%. 2020 was 1.2%. 2021, 4.7%.
And it grows.
2022, 8.0%. 2023, 6.9%.
6.9.
And as of August 2024, the monthly inflation rate was 2.5%, meaning prices in 2024 are 2.5% higher than they were in 2023.
Yeah, so what is that?
Inflation
9%.
can be caused by factors such as increased production costs or high demand for goods and services. But the main reasons for high inflation in the United States over the past 5 years are the high costs of energy such as hydroelectric, solar, nuclear, and fossil fuels. Being dependent on foreign oil is also a huge problem considering the United States has the potential to be energy independent by utilizing the vast oil reserves within our own soil. The influx of millions upon millions of illegal immigrants overwhelming our economy, out-of-control federal spending such as funding foreign conflicts and borrowing money from the Federal Reserve to fund the military-industrial complex, are all huge contributors as to why your hard-earned money loses its overall value. Saving for your future when you can barely pay for necessities is non-existent, causing retirees to be more and more dependent on programs such as Social Security and Medicare to get by. When COVID-19 hit the United States in 2020, the country essentially shut down, causing supply chain issues that shot prices for goods through the roof. And even though those same supply chains have for the most part been corrected, the prices for those goods never reflected those changes. We everyday Americans know having a better understanding of why we have high inflation isn't going to fix the problem. But what we do understand is that we need someone leading this country who has what it takes to take these issues head on and make America great again.
Well, that's my view. That's what I found out. I mean, let's be real. Like I was saying earlier, 5 years ago, I made $20 an hour. I had a 3-bedroom house, 2 full bath, 2-car garage, fenced in yard, whatever. I was able to pay for it all with that $20 an hour. Barely, but I was still able to do it. Now you're not getting into a 2-bedroom apartment for less than $2,000. If you want a 3-bedroom house for you and your family, it just ain't happening. It's $3,000 plus a month. And who's got it like that? Really? I mean, 5 years later, I went from $20 to $30 an hour, and I can afford less now than I did back then making $20 an hour. Okay, so I think we could all agree that this is the world we're living in. And it all happened in the last 5 years. We'll call it 4 years because, well, we're in a whole nother presidential situation. So this is just me trying to, point out some of the stuff that we already know. We already know. And the rabbit hole goes way deeper. I just don't have the time. You want to know why I don't have the time to bring all this to your guys' attention? Because I work for a living. This is my last day off. I actually had to take today off because I am going to go see Judas Priest tonight, one of my favorite all-time bands from the 80s and 90s. It's very exciting. I can't wait. It's going to be a good time. And so that's going to be fun. I wanted to show you guys just real quick. This is just gas tax in the United States. I live in Washington State, and we are the 4th highest gas tax. I'm not going to go through a bunch of stuff. I was just looking this up the other day and wanted to share it with you. Look at this. California, 68.1 cents per gallon just for state tax. Then we go over here to Illinois, 66.5%. Pennsylvania, 58.7%. And then my home state, Washington, 52.82 cents per gallon just for state tax. And you go down here, let's look at Arizona, 19 cents. 19 cents, 18 cents in New Mexico, 20 cents in Texas. And, I don't know. That's just one of the things I've been looking at that's creating this issue to where, you can't even go to the store with a $100 bill. And it takes hours of your work to make that $100 bill, and you can't even fill up the bottom of your basket with basic necessities. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. We're getting fed up with it, and we need to vote the person in that's going to fix this issue. I don't know about you guys, but I like to think that my $30 an hour is actually, is more than enough to handle things, because 5 years ago, $20 an hour handled it barely, so 30 should be handling it just fine. And I understand we had a COVID situation. I understand that's why in 2022, the inflation was up by 8%. But it never recovered. It just went down to 6.9 last year. That's 7% plus 2.5%, 9.5%. Today, I mean, come on. Come on. Bidenomics? Yeah, okay. Well, you can keep your Bidenomics. I'd rather get back to the way things were during the Trump era. I'm sorry if you guys don't like it. It is the way it is. And I'm just going to let it go at that. I do appreciate you guys. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. I'm going to just let it go. And if you guys want to smack the like button, Subscribe to the channel. I'm still working on this. This is new to me. I haven't had a lot of time to get into this because, well, I spend most of my waking hours at work. I just got done with an 11-day stretch without a day off because I have to make that money. Somehow this bill's got to get paid. Even my car insurance in Washington State, everybody's car insurance jumped up. It jumped up. I mean, in 2019, I was paying $140 a month for car insurance for full coverage on my vehicle, and now it's almost $300. They've had like 3 jumps in the past 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I'm just tired of it. We're all tired of it. If you guys, let me know what you think. I'm always happy to hear from you. It gives me more food for thought. That's all I got. I'm going to go to Judas Priest tonight and forget about all this misery. And I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Tyler. He bought the tickets. He's taking me. I love you, brother. And with that, you guys have a great night.